So I wanted to make this video because I feel like it's important to get the message out there that behind every person that's incarcerated, there's a family impacted, but more importantly, there's a woman who is funding it. So we're paying for court costs, we're paying for court costs before, we're paying for bail, we're paying for commissary, we're doing it all. And I just really wanted to find a way to support the women, but also get the rest of the world to know that they're not their loved one's crime. These are human beings. These are women who are nurturers. And it just doesn't stop because someone went to jail. But I try to encourage women to just honor themselves in this entire process. When you think about women supporting men, you think, oh, it's a boyfriend and girlfriend situation. That's not it. These are mothers, these are sisters, these are grandmothers, these are aunts. These are just all women from all walks of life who are committed to supporting someone who's incarcerated. And so for me, I wanted to honor that. I wanted to honor the resilience of these women by getting some funds and trying to get this work out into the community. So I want to get that message out so we can kind of, reduce the stigma associated with, supporting an incarcerated loved one, so that the women who really need that support are feeling okay with coming out and saying, I need help, I need a sister circle, I just need to be able to talk about this. I don't even know if I want to do this anymore, because that can happen too. You might get to a point where you don't want to. That's okay too. That's okay too. A lot of people won't tell them that, but that's okay too. If it becomes too overwhelming, sometimes you got to save yourself.
I first wanted to join Real Resilience when I went on Instagram and I seen the post. So I contacted Crystal about to give me more information about the workshops and what she did. And then from there I enrolled, and then I started the workshops, which was 4 weeks. And I went to 4 excellent workshops that was very beneficial. I said that this would be a good opportunity to learn how to better budget my money, also for the balance and wellness, and also the trauma.
The importance of the trauma workshop is to teach women about the effects of unresolved trauma and how devastating it can be in their lives if they do not deal with it. It takes a toll on their family life and interpersonal relationships by triggering real life pain, symptoms, and disease. What I wish to leave the women with is that trauma is not what's wrong with them, it is what has happened to them.
I started facilitating with Real Resilience in November of 2017. The first session was quite interesting. I learned a lot about myself and the group of young ladies that were a part of that session, they just made me want to research even more information to help the next group, and that's just how it's been. I believe this is my 4th session teaching the managing your money while supporting an incarcerated loved one, and I just keep learning, and that's what I like to do.
So yeah, I was a 5-year writer with Write and Rebuild. Throughout the time of writing, I started to, change my way of eating, change my lifestyle of what I purchased for my home, for my kitchen, how I cooked. I started to implement working out. I started doing a lot of cardio, and then I started doing strength training, Pilates, and then I wanted to get educated with all that I was doing. I wanted to understand the science, the background, like the anatomy of what I was doing and why I was doing it. So I became a trainer, a certified trainer, and then I started to train other people, other women, and just giving them that same experience with fitness.
Giving back and helping others is sort of my heartbeat. I just enjoy helping people and our community. Growing up in West Philadelphia, I've seen so many, people at a disadvantage when it comes to, like police brutality, just wrongfully accused of things and wrongfully incarcerated. So starting a program like this, I think, is essential.
Crystal really pulled out something in me because I was nervous. I was like, oh my God, what am I do? And she kept me calm and she said, listen, this is your life. You sharing your life. You feel like you got to be a professor in trying to relay a story that's been your life for over, at the time, like 3 years. So it was just like, all right, okay.
From taking a Real Resilience program, I was able to build a great relationship with Crystal, and now I'm a part of Ride and Rebuild, which I'm grateful because she gave me the opportunity to be more hands-on, and this is something that I really needed for my own personal social skills and being able to talk to people and also being able to help them as well.
What is it? What's real resilience? And I think real resilience is women who support an incarcerated loved one despite everything that's going on politically, locally, nationally, still being able to get up, go to work, take care of their children, take care of their families, be responsible adults, pay their taxes, and still support an incarcerated loved one. That's resilience.
It makes me smile to think about resilience at the end of the day, and I'm appreciative that we have this format to share, energy with other people and will be implemented in our own personal lifestyle, and that they can take away and just use it for their own resilience.
Defining resilience has been always tricky. When I meet with some of the women and I ask them the question, how do you define your resilience? They get stuck there because they don't really see themselves as resilient. They see the trauma, they see the experience, but they don't see the fact that they've overcome and they've been overcoming. And so for me, resilience is the ability to face adversity, face incarceration, and say, I will not bend under this pressure. I will use every resource available to me so that I can survive this traumatic experience. A lot of women don't realize that incarceration is the trauma.
The trauma portion of the program really affected me because not only did I realize that my husband being incarcerated is a trauma, I realized that it goes deeper than just that, more so with my family, and I was able to open up to the group of young ladies that was in my session with Real Resilience and express myself to them, and I was be able to realize myself.
Wow. Basically, this program is helping me to see the outcome, that I could talk to people and hear other stories when I'm going through.
My identity was compromised years ago, and I had to learn all about credit and financial health and trying to restore and rebuild my credit from pretty much nothing. So all the while, I was supporting an incarcerated loved one.
I have a problem with spending, especially for my loved one that's incarcerated. So therefore, I was able to manage my money better when it comes to providing for him and also having more money for myself.
I feel like the project is amazing. The fact that she wants to help the community, and I've always been a helper. So once she reached out to me about the opportunity, I felt compelled to help her out.
If someone wanted to start a program like this, I would recommend understanding your population, understanding that women who support an incarcerated loved one are not, they're not victims, and they don't want to be treated as victims, and they're also not their loved one's crime. There's a misconception that women are condoning the behavior of someone who's incarcerated. That's not it. When someone gets arrested, you just don't stop loving them. Once you've loved them, you don't stop loving them. And so you have to come into this, if you want to start it, with an open mind and an open heart, and you have to have some financial resources, because I offer a gift card to women to have, to use towards mental health services. So if they want to get therapy afterwards, or if they want to get self-care, if they want a pedicure or manicure, use the $25 gift card to do that. I also offer women a free ride once they've gone through the program. It's important that I am supporting them, right? And so if you are thinking about starting this kind of program, partner up with folks in your community. Right now we are having a workshop at the Free Library, but that also came from a relationship that I have with a community person in my community and a friend who helped me find this location. So, it's partnerships, it's relationships, but it's also respect and the passion to serve.
I also have a partnership with the Village in Southwest Philadelphia, where I've hosted most of my meetings. I'm just grateful for that relationship as well.
Get you a team that supports you and believes in you And two, just make sure you have all your ducks in a row with resources, because the financial means will come.
We're all dealing with trauma. We're all dealing with financial issues, relationship issues, balance and wellness issues. It's no competition. It's no comparison. It's no I do it better or I'm going to be better than you. It's basically everybody sharing a common denominator, which is ultimately creating a foundation in our personal life, but still helping loved ones, with driving up there through Ride and Rebuild, and supporting our loved ones and having this type of format where we can come down and just be like-minded, or even if we're not like-minded, create and share the same like-mindedness that brings us all together and not separate us.
I kept in touch with the women from the Real Resilience program. We are like our own personal support team. So when anybody have any problems, or if I have problems, I'm able to reach out to any of them and just for comfort. Because of the trauma that I went through with my mother and my stepdad, I make sure that I show my children everything that I didn't get, because that was a big impact. And I'm just now, as an adult, 31 years old, telling my mom how I felt because of the trauma workshop. That workshop really did something to my heart that I couldn't hold it in no longer. I had to relate it to her. And half of the stuff she didn't even realize that she did. And like I had to tell her, and what I learned from the trauma workshop with Real Resilience is that my support system is normally my sister. But now I have a group of women that's going through the same thing that I'm going through that I'm able to talk to.
One of the hardest things about creating this Real Resilience program and getting participants has been that there's a stigma associated with supporting an incarcerated loved one. So, creating this program and having women say, Crystal, that's a great idea. I want to do it. But when it's time to sign up, the enrollment numbers weren't as robust as I thought they would be, and I had to keep asking myself why, and I realized that one, there's a stigma associated with it, but then two, there are barriers to coming from work across the city to a meeting to get support. I had an incident where I had a woman who was going to participate in one of my sessions, and she had been trying to get involved throughout the entirety of it, and finally she was going to be able to get to the last one. And when I sent her a confirmation text, she sent me a message back that said that she couldn't make it because her brother was murdered. These women are on both ends of the spectrum. They're supporting someone who has probably committed a crime, could be a murder, but then they're also faced with the family issues, friendships of people who are being murdered in this city, and it's hard. It's absolutely hard. And so for me, being a transportation provider, but also this founder of this program, I have to figure out a way to balance my emotions when I'm faced with this kind of information. I remember one time this woman who was a rider was riding with me faithfully every 2 weeks to see her husband. He died from complications of diabetes, and I was the second person she called. And even for me, it's overwhelming. Even for me, I have to say, Crystal, keep going, keep doing this. You got it. You got to keep doing it. And so because I know mass incarceration isn't ending anytime soon, I know that I still have to do my work, because at the back end of all of this are women.